Heavenly Father, Lord, I am but a humble servant, walking in line with my purpose for existing. Forgive me of those sins I might have committed knowingly and unknowingly. And as I start this day, grant me the promises and blessings to fulfill my essence. All these I ask for humbly by your grace. Amen.
Ooh, one of the things that I love doing every time, especially when I have a grace to be here with you guys, is acknowledging the fact that it can be my design, it can be my doing. It can only be that person upstairs watching over me in all things that I do, in all ways that I come with you with and from, and in all aspects of life. This is Cradle Radio, and my name is Akinloye. You know what we do on Feel Good every time? It's called Feel Good with Akinloye on Cradle Radio. And I just want to use this opportunity to thank all the fans and all the followers and every other person, that sends in mails and sends in messages and from different corners of the globe. And I say, you tend to be blown away, and I mean figuratively. You'll get kind of blown away when you have reactions from people from all over the world, acknowledging what you do and how you do it and what it does for them in retrospect. And I'm grateful for that. All right, so I want to say thank you. I want to say I'm appreciative, and I want to say, you know what? Let's keep going. This is what we do. Sometimes you got to take a break, right? You know, I know radio never sleeps. Creative radio never sleeps. But sometimes I'm human. So hence the haters for a couple of days, and but we're back. And most importantly, we're back. And welcome aboard. This is Feel Good with Akinloye on Creative Radio. So wherever you're hearing me or you're listening to me from anywhere across the globe right now, I want to say thank you for being a part of this. I want to say good morning to you, and feel good with Akinloye in the morning hour. It's getting you to know about things happening in Africa, right? Cradle Radio is a radio station that caters for everything African. All right, and not only that, we cater for good stuff coming out, good stuff coming out of the world in general. But we want to push Africa to mainstream in a way that you can also learn a bit from us. We're not just your entertainers. We're not just your regular clowns. We're not just your regular jokers, right? We're serious-minded people as well. So, in a nutshell, it's a way of bringing Africa to the forefront. And I will readily say every time, Africa doesn't even get the needed coverage. So, if you think people are going to do it for you, you better do it yourself. That's why we're here. And don't get me wrong, we will lift news from and events from different parts of the globe as well. So, but 95% of the musical philosophy on Credit Radio is African based, all right? So, we want to cater for that part of the world. We have other parts of the world being catered for by other media outlets and all that, but we're focused mainly on pushing Africa to the forefront, and hence feel good with Akinloye in the morning. And if you've ever been a part of this, this is the way we program it. We tend to have you the weather or the first place where the news is coming from, and then afterwards, we roll music. Then we get to the news items of the day. It's like you reading your daily, so you're reading your newspapers back in the day, and you have a fusion of music in between it for you to just relax, assimilate, and even disseminate the news that you're acquiring from different parts. So it's a 1 hour show, and it's on live right now on YouTube, and it's on live on Instagram and on Twitch as well. So if you ever wanted to have this breath of fresh air, just come with me. I'll take you on a journey with me. And like I did start earlier on with, I love realizing and giving glory to my Creator. All right. If you don't believe in God, I'm not trying to debate with you. I'm just gonna say I believe in God, and most importantly, I like to give glory to a woman's due. So in the morning hours, so if you're listening right now, go on www.cradleradio.com and you will listen to what I'm playing right now, what's going on live on live radio. And that way you could just, if you're rushing out, you can join in on Cradle Radio. And then you can listen up and have a fun-filled day with me. I start with the music of this man that I so much like and adore as well. Adore him from a creative perspective. Somebody that has been, doing his music and getting into the groove of his music and still doing it great. He did a song, and what really captured my attention was the fact that it featured in the video of the song. It featured in one of my greats, and I would say a GOAT, definitely a GOAT, the one and only Onu Jacobs. And he featured him with his wife as well, Joker Silver. And it was captivating the way the video just, propagated and pushed the information about it. It's something about having a prayer from your father when you try to sojourn. Did it great. I'm gonna allow you to listen to it, and I'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. This is Dari Aladi, and he calls this one "Pray for Me." Let's go get it. Let's go get it real quick. music of Dario Armaladi. It says, "Pray for me," and that's what we all clamor for from time to time, each and every time we want prayer all the generations before us, people that paved the way for us. And I'll start with a saying that I really came together with, and while looking at this, I just try to reminisce on the aspect of generations before mine. That's what I call it, generations before mine. My pops was born in the 40s. My mom's was born very early 50s. And one thing synonymous with their generation is they were stern to us as young individuals back then. We saw it as being rigid. But now, as a grown man, an OG, as a matter of fact, I now realize, the reason for their generation being like that, it wasn't really being rigid. It was about principle. And having a principle or parent seems to shape us in one way, one fashion or the other. And when you look at the world, this is what's missing in this day and time. People that are principled, people that arrive of their ways of doing things. Generations after that, man, time has been rigid. But how rigid is that for a person to believe solely in an idea that it believes is right? Look at it in retrospect. He or she, and the pops and the moms are always right. In this day and age, we hardly have pops and moms no more. People that can set the pace, set the tone, that can drive you right, that can show you places. That would rather not want you falling in a ditch that they in. They just want you to move a step farther. And then you have kids having to direct their parents in this age and time. And you look at it and you ask yourself a bigger question. Who is the parent? Are you parenting or are you being parented? I love that aspect of it. This is Critical Radio, people. But let's get into the four things we have an hour on this show. And we'll get to it real quick. And while doing that, I love this aspect. Now let's go here. Now you know how we do it. This is a Friday morning, so I don't want to take all your time, and I just want to get into the know of things. All right. If we have a weather about a particular place, and that's where the first story is coming from. And we're starting from Abidjan today. It's excessive heat. All right, excessive heat in that part of the world. And I got a feel good story coming from that place, and it's Friday. It's the start of a weekend, and what can we say? I would always readily say it's always good. Fridays are always exciting. I love Fridays. I really do love Fridays. All right, let's get into the more things with this one. All right, so this says actually, it says the temperature is going to be 29 degrees Celsius today in Abidjan. That's in Cote d'Ivoire, and 29 degrees Celsius with a precipitation of 0%. Humidity is at 81%. A wind is moving in a slow gust of 10 kilometers per hour. And when you look at that, it's going to be extremely hot. Mark my words, extremely hot in Abidjan. Excessive heat this at. With that, we get to what we're going to this morning, which is the news in general. And when we're talking about that, especially on a Friday, what are you looking out for on a Friday? If not, in some parts of the world, what we readily look at for today has got to be something that we're synonymous with. It's something that people love engaging themselves in on a weekend, and that's football. When I say football, football coming from my side of the globe, from the part that I emanated from, it's called football. All right, so in some places they want to call it soccer, but I've always known it to be football, so I stay with the fact that it's football. And we'll take it one step at a time from that. Take it one step at a time from that. Let me move this one forward a little bit so we'll be on the same page. It's like, getting things right. And this is going to be interesting. Let's go this way. That's my signature too. This is Creative Radio, people. Alrighty. Yeah, everything is in play now. Now from Abidjan in the morning hour, it says in Abidjan, the Sports Academy fueling. Bring this down just a little bit so we'll see everything that we're talking about. Okay, this way. Excellent. In Abidjan, the Sports Academy fueling Ivory Coast football dreams. That's right. That's right. You see a lot of energetic individuals, young individuals doing their thing and doing it right in that part of the world. And what better way to start your Friday? Not just bringing this your way this morning before we get into the heavy stuff. Oh, definitely. We're going to get heavy today. All right. In Abidjan, the Sports Academy fueling Ivory Coast football dreams. In the heart of Abidjan, the capital of Ivory Coast, dozens of teenagers in red and green football gears are training with one dream in mind to become the next Didier Drogba. They are members of the African Sports Academy, a program that helps young football hopefuls achieving their goal of playing for a European club one day. The academy was founded by former international player Michel Gauba, who played in French clubs in the 80s and was a mentor to his nephew, the former Chelsea star Didier Drogba. Born in Ivory Coast in 1978, he moved to France at the age of 5 to pursue a career in football. During his 9-year tenure in Chelsea in England, he became the club's fourth highest scorer of all time with 164 goals. He was also the captain of the national Ivory Coast football team from 2006 until 2014. Drogba's success story is definitely an inspiration to the members of the academy. Now, most of the players you see here, they say their parents are in Europe. Most of them are children of parents who also played for the African Sports Club in Abidjan. They played football in the 70s and 80s and were lucky enough to end up in Europe with Michel Gauba, the owner of the academy. This was explained by local football coach Olivier Agbabe. When they have a good situation there and the child plays well with the ball, they're looking to send their child away. It's the parents themselves who send their child away to enroll them in a school that combines sports and studies. Football is a profession, he says, he has loved since he was little. So he says, when he was in school, he played football. It was my passion, said Prince Theodore Kakur, a student from the African Sports Academy. He says he wants to become like Didier Drogba, Samuel Eto'o, and others. It's his passion. It's something that he lives for. Without football, it's like nothing in life. The academy as a part of Africa's Sports Abidjan, one of the most famous clubs in the country, founded in 1947. It became the first Ivorian club to win the African Cup Winners' Cup in 1992. This is a feel good one for me. This is a real good one. And I must say, while growing up as well, did I ever tell you a city that I grew up in? Okay, the city is called Ibadan. Love that city. While growing up there, it seemed like that was everything. My mama's from Lagos, right? So, and my pops is from the other side. So, while growing up, it was a mixed breed. Spending most times in Lagos and most times in Ibadan. My father is from Ogbomosho, if you want. So, and growing up, everybody, every individual, every kid, I'm just gonna, take this one and just put myself right in the action of things. But growing up, everybody, every kid wanted to have this being done. We wanted to play. For my generation, some of us were gifted. And when I'm in some of us, I'm going to add myself to it. Because a whole lot of people that I grew up with actually thought I was going to end up playing soccer. I'm one of those ones that you call a mercenary. All right? Mercenary is somebody that you got to go get if you want to win games. I play good. I'm not blowing my own home, but listen, man, you know, go fact check that. And You can ask people that I grew up with. I don't want to swear on radio. I was a really good football player, man. A real good football player. But like I said earlier when I started the show this morning, parents always wanted to follow a certain pattern in telling you how you're going to go. Because the generation of my parents, everything has to be in academics. You gotta just know your books. You gotta be academically sound. Even though you're talented, and a whole lot of people, I know a lot of guys who would have done better than the people that you watch nowadays, especially in the local scene and in the local football stage. I know a whole lot, too many people I can counsel, man. But anyways, we're here with them, we're everywhere. Hence, Radio Land, huh? Good morning, people. If you're just joining in, you've not missed much. We're just half into the stream of Feel Good on Cradle Radio. I just want to say this real quick. We want to thank everybody that's joined our Facebook page. What we doing on YouTube, we want to do concurrently on Facebook. And I keep saying this over and over again. We want to do it. We want to get every other thing done instead of having a post on YouTube. We want to have to live stream on YouTube like we're doing on Instagram, like we're doing on Twitter, and like we're doing on YouTube. You just watching it from there now. So what we are imploring you to do is kindly follow us on our Facebook page, which is Radio Radio. Follow us in there, and let's get cracking. Let's get going. Let's get doing. I say cracking. It reminds me of something that I experienced over the last week. But that's going to be a story for another day. This is Great Radio. So if you have any information, if you have any suggestions for us, I would implore you to write us an email. Shoot us an email on info@credoradio.com. Then and there, we'll be talking. So if perhaps you have an artist that you're trying to promote, that you're trying to push, we'll gladly do that. Just it's going to sound right. And most importantly, it's going to be an African song, okay? That's right. That's right. We'll get into the nitty gritty of things as we speak. Let's get into a more news item and where we going next. Let's see this one. This is actually really good. I kind of like it. Why do I say so? Because it's a delicacy. It's something that goes in and it resonates. It reminds me of so many things. And when I mean so many things, let's check it out this way. And you will understand what I'm talking about this morning. Let's go this one. All right, let's check this one out. All right, it says in Tunisia, snails inch towards replacing red meat as people turn to cheaper protein. That's what he says. That's what the headline says. So let's get into the know of what's happening over there. Well, in Tunisia, snails inch towards replacing red meat as people turn to cheaper protein. In fields outside their hometown in central Tunisia, an increasing number of unemployed young men are seeking a new way to making a living, picking snails off of rocks and leaves and collecting them in large plastic bags to take to local markets to be sold. More and more people, they say, are buying the shelled wanderers as the prices of market staples remains high and out of reach for many families. But they are profitable, beneficial, and quite in demand. This said Karim, a 29-year-old snail seller from the village of Akuda. Snails have been consumed in Tunisia for more than 7 million years, according to research published last year in the journal Archaeological and Anthropological Sciences. In totals, in today's world, considered mostly in bistro delicacy, there are gaining traction in Tunisia as a practical alternative to red meat, a protein-rich substitute that pairs perfectly with salt, spices, and bold seasonings. The snails are a lifeline for some in Tunisia, where youth unemployment now hovers above 40% and inflation remains high 3 years after spiking to its highest level in decades. A lack of opportunity has fueled social discontent throughout the country and increasingly migration to Europe. And low in fat and high in iron, calcium, and magnesium, snails offer both nutritional value and economic relief in a country where unemployment runs high and median wages remain low. They cost about half as much as beef per kilogram and often less when sold by the bowls. The snails are better for cooking than lamb. Lamb meat costs 60 dinars, equivalent of $19.30. A bowl of snail is 5 dinars, that's $1.60. A man named Mohammed said in the Akuta market, as the price of meat and poultry continues to rise, more Tunisians are turning to affordable alternative sources of protein. Beyond their economic appeal, these substitutes are also drawing interest for their environmental benefits. Scientists say they offer a more sustainable solution, producing far fewer carbon emissions and avoiding the deforestation linked to traditional livestock farming. Oh, okay. Well, that carbon emission part is something that I would rather want to know about, right? So, are you saying this carbon emission emanating from raising livestock? Science, right? The good part about it is not going to take away the truth about the delicacy of having snails. A lot of people who consume it always say it tastes good. How does it taste to you this morning, if you've ever had it? This is Critter Radio. We'll hit back with some music, and I'll be right back with some more tunes that will be coming your way. Stay with me, don't go nowhere, okay? Now, guess what? This is the music of Lil Sims. She ain't little, she's big, but she calls herself Lil Sims. Simbiatu Achikawo. kind of songs that I just want to listen to back and forth, back and forth. And I keep going back and forth with it. I can never get enough of that music, right? Yeah, it's amazing. It's really, really good. I always love when I listen to good stuff in the morning. Two worlds apart, that's what she calls it. Love Sims doing her thing right there. It's great. All right, let's get back into the news. No, we never have enough time on this show, so we'll quickly rush through it and we get as much information out there as possible. And where we at? Where we are? We're here now. Let's check this one out. This is going to be interesting. Now we're going to get serious a little bit, so stay with it. And I will say again, over and over again, follow us. Share our page and share our content as well on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok as well. We're with that. I think one of these days I just want to go live on TikTok. Roll you some of the music and play it on radio, on Creator Radio, and you could just be a part of it. Just probably 1 hour. Experiment that. We'll try that out 1 hour, and we'll see how it goes. And let's see how this one goes. I got a fan asking me a question as well, and he says, or maybe she, I don't know. Either she said, do you speak any other language besides English? And I said, oh, definitely. I speak like 5 languages. Most importantly, I speak my mother tongue too. Okay, I speak Yoruba. I'm really good. Like, you know, except if I want to do proverbs, I kind of, get a little shaky. But I do proverbs good too when I'm in my zone. And I'm serious about it. Man. What are you talking about? I speak it fluently with a sign. I can even write it out with a sign. Anyways, we'll get into the news and let's get serious this morning in this way. News item coming your way is about this one. Everybody's talking tariff, and tariff from different corners of the globe, from all walks of life. And this is what we are having right now. We're going to jump into a country called Lesotho, which is surrounded by South Africa. And Lesotho is itself a country. So we'll get into this one and we'll see what's happening over there as it's being affected by the tariff coming out of the U.S. And when you readily come with stuff about tariff, when you come about things happening in that part of the world, you might just want to say, how does Lesotho bear when it comes to tariff? Oh, definitely. It's all over. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. The headline says Trump imposes a hefty 50% reciprocal tariff on Lesotho. U.S. President Donald Trump, and this is what I like about it, right? I think a whole lot of people, even the people that call themselves veterans, seem not to get the way things are meant to be mentioned. I was watching the news one of us day. Not really the news. I mean, I'm selective in the kind of news I watch, but sometimes it comes in my feed. And when it does come in there, I just want to just go around and look at it and, try to see if they're doing something right. And incidentally, it seems the world is still not doing what's right when it comes to um, broadcasting. And if you don't know what to do, how would you do it right? And that's the big question this morning. That's a question I readily ask. And if you don't know how to do it, how would you do it right? Okay, it's a question in my mind. A whole lot of newscasters will go around and say, President Donald Trump. First off, he's not my president. Okay, with all respect, right? He's the president of the United States. I don't live in the United States, so he's the president of the United States. So as a broadcaster, and this is what everybody got to understand and learn, right? You got to, which one is that? Okay, so if you want to have to identify a president of another nation, you go like, this is broadcasting or news presentation or news anchoring 101. Okay, if you want to refer to him, you go like the U.S. The U.S. President Donald Trump, not President. Just don't go forward and go and say President Trump because he's a president of another country, right? So let's just follow due protocol in certain things that we do. I see a whole lot of people having to go on the news anchors that will call themselves veterans and say President Donald Trump. You know what? Listen, that's why I love the way it's written with this news article that I'm about reading. It says U.S. President Donald Trump. That's how you do it. Well, Trump has imposed a hefty 50% reciprocal tariff on Lesotho, a small landlocked kingdom in southern Africa. This makes Lesotho the country facing the highest tariff among all those on Trump's long list of trade targets. Despite being dismissed by Trump in March as a nation nobody has ever heard of, Lesotho, with a gross domestic product of just over $2 billion, is a significant trade relationship with the U.S. The country has a trade surplus with the United States, largely made up of exports such as diamonds and textiles, including Levi jeans. In 2024, Lesotho exports to the U.S. totaled $237 million, which accounts for over 10% of its GDP, according to Oxford Economics. However, Trump's new trade policies are set to end this relationship by imposing a broad range of tariff on global trading partners. Trump is reversing decades of trade rules, which could drive up costs for consumers. Trump's move is framed as a response to other countries' trade barriers and tariffs against U.S. goods. Lesotho, for instance, imposes a steep 99% tariff on American products. You know, now the situation highlights the end of Africa's Growth and Opportunity Act, a trade agreement intended to provide African nations with preferential access to U.S. markets to foster their economic growth. Trade experts see this shift as a major setback for African economies. It is compounded by cuts to USAID and the U.S. government agency that has long supported Africa with development aid. Lesotho, which has a population of about 2 million and is entirely surrounded by South Africa, did not immediately comment on the tariff. However, the country's foreign minister had previously expressed concerns that the reduction in foreign aid, particularly from the U.S. government, was hurting the nation's health sector, which is being heavily reliant on international support. Lesotho also struggles with one of the highest HIV/AIDS infection rates in the world, adding to the country's difficulties. The formula for calculating these tariffs takes into account the U.S. trade deficit with each country, using this figure as a measure of alleged unfair trade practices. The ratio of the deficit to the U.S. imports from each government determines the tariff, with the resulting rates being half of that ratio. The sweeping tariff declared by Trump could increase prices for Americans who depend on citrus for 1,400 producers across southern Africa, according to Bochoko Shabele, chief executive of the Citrus Growers Association in Johannesburg. South Africa does not compete with the citrus producers of the U.S., Shabele said. In fact, quite the opposite. He says they sustain customers' interest when their local citrus is out of season, benefiting U.S. citrus growers in the end. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa said Trump's 30% tariff on U.S. imports of South African products shows the urgent need for a new bilateral trade deal. That was lengthy. That was a long one. Very, very lengthy. Woo! So it's gonna be a long, long winter as the term goes. Sometimes it goes around and goes like It's going to be a long 3 years. It's going to be a long 4 years. What could we do? And he says a lot. And like I would tell anybody who cares to listen, I can never hate on a man who loves his country above all other countries because that's precisely what you should do. Love your country, right? Love your country. The people that you are placing in a seat of power in your country, are they ready or are they uh, intelligent or knowable, as if I would admit that you use that? Are they competent enough to stand the test of time? And I'm not even referring to the man who's, changing, bringing this tariff and all that. I'm talking about all the countries that are, crying wolf. I'm asking a big question this morning. Those countries, did you elect people that have a broader vision? Because having to say, if Cyril Ramaphosa is saying now that you need to look for new bilateral trade relationships, what happened to the fact that you could have looked for that to be able to balance out, the reliance on one economy alone will have definitely put you where you all right now. That's the simple truth. It's a big world, man. It's a big world. Now, what's the population of the U.S.? Maybe 400 million plus. And what's the world population? The last time I was, reading through, I think we like 8.8 billion or something. Now, don't quote me, right? I'm not going to spend time to find out, but I think we're over 8 billion, all right? Over 8 billion. And your sole target is a 400 million population. Think twice, man. You got to think about it. You're going to go somewhere else. Now, don't forget, this is Cradle Radio, and we call this show Feel Good with Akinloye in the morning hour. Wherever you're listening to me, wherever you're watching me right now, I say good morning to you. It could probably be that it's in the afternoon somewhere. Will it be? Who knows? All right, we'll kick it going and kick it going, and we'll do what's right. Okay, I still got some couple of minutes, but in terms of news items, I still got a lot more to say. I'll probably just, go do what? I'll take a breather real quick, and I'll be back. I mean, while taking a breather, I should give you something that you're just gonna just go around with and go like, boom, wow. Ah. In coming weeks, we're gonna be showcasing and bringing on different artists that we tend to want to push on this channel, and not only on the channel, on the radio station as well. You'll be hearing a whole lot of their music. I got this talented individual that does gospel that I want to bring on an interview, and it's going to be a short time. The last time we spoke on the phone, we were talking. I like when I get conversational with people and it extends. It shows that even if you bring them live, and when I mean live, it's just not going to be the audio; it's going to be visual as well. So we're going to do a video interview with a couple of artists that are trying to cut the teeth for themselves, and while bringing them on, you would have a feel of what these guys are all about and where they draw their inspirations from. Don't forget, you know, like our page, follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe to our Instagram page, and not only that, we got TikTok, we got LinkedIn, we have what else? We have which one is that other one again? We got Twitch, we have TikTok, we have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have YouTube, and I think there's still one more. There's still one more that I'm not, really getting to mention now. We have Discord channel as well. That's right. Yeah, Discord. Can't want to forget that. But you know what? We're not forgetting anything. What kind of music should I play for you this morning? It's something that's going on. I'm just gonna just go on Cradle Radio, and I'll just get to have a feel of what's going on that other side now. Let's listen to the music of Masha. She said, "Show me off." Yeah, solo. This is called Asha. Show me off. Show me into the world. I want to live my life with you. That's what the lyric says. Uh, it's kind of songs that you just listen to and you just want to fall in love, right? this is this is what my interpretation of it. Am I wrong? Don't get me into trouble. I'm just saying that's what I'm interpreting the music as. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. And, who knows? It's a beautiful song. I love the music of my shot any day, any time. I definitely do. And when she sings, it's just sultry. It's interesting. It's really good. You can hide from the fact that she's a talented and great artist. You can, you can. Let's rush this real quick before time just so flies by, and we'll just realize we wouldn't probably have enough time. But while we still have the time, let's get into this. And where we're at, and let's see this one, okay? And don't forget. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. And don't forget, follow our page on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and X. I wanted to remember X earlier on too as well. So don't forget that X, which formerly known as Twitter. And you just will be abreast of information coming from this stable. And not only for feel good with Akinloye, but also for different programmings on Credo Radio. And so where we okay, let's see this one. This promises to be interesting. It's about Museveni. Okay, so while we're rolling that one in, here's Museveni, and guess what? Museveni visits Juba amid tension in oil in the oil-rich East African nation. Okay, he goes on a visit amid tension in the oil-rich East African nation. That's what it says. I didn't come up with that. That's what the music line says. So when the music line goes around saying that, all I could just do from my own part is just bring the news item as it sounds, or as a case may be. Now, where's my news right now? Wait, hold on 1 second, and I'm not going to. Let's see where this one is. All right. Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni on Thursday arrived in the southern Sudanese capital of Juba for a visit. Museveni's visit to Juba comes amidst tension in the oil-rich East African nation after Riek Machar, who serves as one of the country's vice presidents, was arrested in the capital towards the end of last month. Museveni was received at Juba International Airport by President Salva Kiir. The two then held a private meeting before the Ugandan president returned to Uganda. Recent weeks have seen increased tension in the country following Machar's arrest. Machar's political group has said that a 2018 agreement that's the basis for the relative peace after a brutal civil war is effectively over, raising fears of a return to warfare as government troops loyal to Kir battle soldiers and armed militia loyal to Machar. Museveni's visit also comes on the heels of the arrival of the African Union mediators who are in the southern Sudanese capital to assess the situation in the country. Each and every time you want to talk peace, each and every time you want to bring peace around, just realize that you try to find feel good stories, but it seems it's just the drums of war everywhere. So we're not going to shy away from that reality. We're still going to bring it, and we're still going to come around and let you know what's happening. Let you know. from the ferry for our or over such a news article in a way that you could be abreast of information happening around you, especially if you live in Africa. Don't forget, we started with sports, okay? But we still got to just come back to the base as well to let you know what's happening. Not the gory ones, but we try to see through meetings and events and things happening. And I still got one more coming your way, and I'll rush you through that one so we could have a lengthy time to do a proper sign off this morning. And this one is coming as an intelligence report from the other side, okay? And when I mean the other side, I mean credible side. That seems to be it this day. And when this man talks, I cannot listen. I listen. When I'm in a listen, I listen. I'm just telling you the reality. He's credible. There's nothing he's said so far that I've not found credible. So let's get into it. Let's get into it proper. Russia's Lavrov accuses Ukraine of destabilizing Sahel. That's the news I want to hear about. That's the news I want to listen to. And if you're just joining in, you're about listening to something juicy this morning, coming from Lavrov. Okay? That's what he says. And I didn't say that. And that's what he says. Okay, we'll get into the nitty gritty of it, and we'll do a signing off after this news article. Russia's foreign minister, Sergei Lavrov, has accused Ukraine of trying to destabilize the Sahel region on Thursday. That's yesterday. Now, Lavrov made the comment at a news briefing in Moscow following talks with three of his counterparts from the Confederation of Sahel States. Some players outside the Sahel continue attempting to destabilize the region. Besides former colonizers, these also includes the recently Kiev regime, which openly supports terrorist groups in this part of Africa, while its Western sponsors turn a blind eye to it. Sergei Lavrov told reporters. Malian Foreign Minister Abdoulaye Diop echoed his comments, saying his country considered Ukraine a terrorist state. I didn't say that. That's what the headline said. Well, it comes after Mali's government's cut diplomatic ties with Ukraine last year over allegations that Kyiv aided an attack by armed groups in the West African country, in which Malian soldiers and Russian mercenaries suffered heavy losses. Woo. With everything and with everybody holding their coffee, everybody going, getting into their ways, the world seems to be drumming the beats of war. Drums of war. Sometimes I just don't even want to just shy away from that reality. I just want to be able to say, I pray that this world does survive. Sincerely speaking, I really pray that this world does survive, with all that's going on all around, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Everybody's just doing their thing. But most importantly, I pray that we just survive this, right? Because in my meditative spirit, I feel like we're going to destroy our world. One reason or the other. If not for mineral resources, it's either for taking over, and it's either for greed in some quarters. You will tend to find people giving money to people to do stuff that shouldn't even come into the reckoning of a decent individual. I just want to leave it as that this morning. My name is Akinloye, and we call this Feel Good with Akinloye in the morning. It's a Friday morning, and I want to just wish you the best of the weekend. And don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, subscribe and follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok and all the social media handles. And Creator Radio is a radio station that allows you to listen to the best of Africa coming your way. Music, education, entertainment, and not only that, documentaries are going to be following suit as well. And from my part, I've done my bit. I've done my 1 hour for this particular program. And I would say, God bless you. Stay safe, stay sound, and don't do what's not in accordance with the rule of law. My name is Akinloye. Have yourself a wonderful day today.